What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Angry Jackalope, Robert RX, and I'm here with an update and also a quick little discussion. We got about a week left here before all the craziness is finally resolved, I guess. But 6 days till the 20th, and I just got back from the dockety dock. Doc. Come on close. Come close. Let's have a powwow. Let's have a combo. Let's have a conversation, shall we? So, it is January 14th, 2021. What's up, Jay? What's crack-a-lackin', man? What's uppers? What's uppers? Burn rubber. And so I just went to the dock. They took off the remaining steri strips on the wounds. The heel and the ankle no longer feel like they are being constantly dipped in acid, which is yes, I'm so fucking happy because when it feels like it's dipped in acid, it's no bueno. It's no fucking fun at all. It fucking sucks ass. Also, my the gal who cuts my hair and whatnot. I got an appointment with her, I think, on the 26th. She's gonna shave all this all nice, and we're finally gonna get my little Viking braid that I've been growing my fucking hair forever. So we're gonna see how it's gonna work out. It's not gonna be a true Viking braid. I don't think it's gonna be like 3 sets of fucking French braids all done together in one fucking knot in the back. And I'm excited. It's little things to get excited about, and I'm kind of thrilled about it. I'm thrilled about it, to be honest. And so, the health checkup went good. Took out the steri strips. Looks like the infection's gone. Still hurts like a motherfucker. And he basically said, "Look, you're just in regular healing now, so you just gotta fucking suck it up, Snowflake." And I'm like, okie dokie, I got you, Doc. I was just happy to hear the infection and shit's finally gone, so I don't have to worry about that too much anymore now. So now it's just cleaning and letting it heal up. So come the 26th, when I meet with the doc again, we're going to be talking about physical therapy and what that's going to entail. So, I'm pretty happy about it. What's up, Tenchi? How you doing, man? So, 6 days away from the inauguration, and there's a lot of things that are supposed to pop off this weekend. So Sunday night, I guess, a lot of the portals are going to open up for PPP. And if you haven't had a chance to get a PPP before, now is going to be the time, especially if you've lost revenue from this time last year. Well, 2020 versus 2019. You got to see if you had a loss of roughly 25%. And I think a lot of people who have been doing business. I know for myself, I'm pretty sure I lost about at least 25%. So when that PPP portal opens up, I'm definitely going to dive in on it. The other thing too is if you had any EIDL stuff and you got fucking shafted and you only got a G instead of the full 10, word is you're supposed to get that other 9 at the very least. So we'll see. I'm hopeful. And then of course, Biden just came out today with his game plan, and it looks like there's a whole lot of stimulus in his plan. No word or anything on student loan forgiveness or anything like that, but it does look like he has some stuff in there for different folks. So we'll see what's what. Now, in regards to the possibility of the Q stuff popping off, they're still firm believers. They're sitting. It's like a football game. Your team is down by 3. It's the last play of the game. Quarterback snaps back. He's back. He sees a lone runner way out near the end zone. He throws that motherfucking Hail Mary, and the ball is spinning. It's spinning. It's going. It's going. There's one defender that could intercept, and that's where we're at right now. We're like right fucking there. So we will see. You know, if you've been seeing the security over there in DC right now, it is redonkulous how many National Guard are sitting out there. They supposedly have orders to use lethal force. I'm like, against who? Who's gonna go armed at the Capitol to do anything? It's not like you got an army of patriots that are like, oh, we're gonna go storm the White House and the state capitol and all this other shit, and we're gonna take it and we're gonna hold it and make Trump come and do it. You know. The other thing too is, you know, the Dems did their impeachment part, but Mitch McConnell basically was like, no, we're not coming back early. We will address this shit come Tuesday, which is, I think, the day before the inauguration anyway. So it's kind of like null and void. I think at that point, really, the only ramifications, if they say, what's up, Rob? The only ramifications there would be Trump can't run again in 2026. And, you know, to be honest with you, if I was going through all that bullshit, you know, it's a thankless motherfucking job. It's a thankless motherfucking job. And I'm just kind of like, well, fuck that. Like, if I was president, I wouldn't go for a second term. I'd be like, fuck this shit. You guys are some ungrateful ass motherfuckers, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? What's up, Sonny? Let's see, you stand no chance against me on my motorbike wielding my crossbow. Yeah, well, unless you've got a fucking massive, you know, infinite ammo Dungeons and Dragons crossbow with a plus 20, and it's got Vorpal arrows, and, you know, good fucking luck. I would not go. Any smart patriot right now can see there's a trap. There is a massive trap being laid right now that says, hey, go with armed resistance or go to the capitals in your areas. No, guys, don't do that. It's a fucking trap. You know, all they want to do is create conflict and drama and everything. Just get a bucket of popcorn, sit back and wait and see if anything happens. You know what I mean? Other than that, okay, we got a new president. We have, I mean, it's the same shit, different people. You know what I mean? It's like, I have a lot of friends that are freaking out over this shit. And I'm like, guys, did you die? You know, and I see the same thing, re-education camps and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, you know what? They can talk all the shit they want. But when push comes to shove, that's when we see what's what. You know what I'm saying? That's when we see what's what. You know, I tell you what, motherfuckers come to my house talking, we're going to take you away and re-educate you, Rob. I'm like, you're welcome to try. Really are. You know, I think it'd be a damn shame to go through all of this and heal up only to get fucking gunned down. But at the end of the day, if that's my fate, that's my fate. Fuck it. I am not tripping. They come to my house and we're going to take your guns and blah, blah, blah. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. With all due respect, I highly recommend you get the fuck up off my property, unless you're willing to die for this bullshit fucking unconstitutional order. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, there's ways that they can kind of fuck us. Like, I was talking to a good friend of mine earlier, and we were looking at the prices of like 9mm fucking ammo, and I'm like, what the shit? You know, there's some things where, you know, a single round like this right here can cost me like fucking $4. I'm like, $4 a fucking bullet? Holy shit. Now, you know, you can get like 9mm at 50 cents a round, but you gotta buy 1,000 fucking rounds. You can spend $500 on fucking ammo. I'm like, yeah, fucking right. That's why I'm glad I bought my shit. I bought my shit way in advance. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the reasons that we prep. So we don't get caught up in the bullshit later when they're like, well, guess what? You want to go buy some fucking ammo? Ha 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 ha. The ammo is fucking $4. It's like, Jesus Christ, what am I buying? Fucking 50 cal ammo? Damn. I understand, this shit right here, this particular round being expensive because it's rip ammo. You know what I mean? And shit's hard to get, and it's fucking expensive. But regular plinking ammo being at $3, what the fuck? So, and I see the stuff, Biden and them going after the NRA. I'm like, I give less than a fuck. Go after the NRA. Fucking NRA, that's a special interest group. It don't do anything for me specifically. You know what I mean? I'm not a card carrying NRA member because I believe everybody should have fucking guns. I believe, yeah, that was Yuki. I believe everybody should have guns. Everybody should have access to fucking ammo. Everybody have access to whatever the fuck they need to protect their family. When everybody was talking that shit about bump stocks and no, we gotta stop. They're gonna take the bump stock. Well, let them take. Fuck that. They shouldn't even take that. We have the right to be armed to protect our fucking family. Some of y'all might be astute, observation. Rob, are you strapped right now? Well, yes, sir, I am. Well, Rob, why are you carrying around in your own house? Because I'm fucking handicapped right now, and I roll around on a goddamn scooter. And we live in times where motherfuckers are starting to get dumb. I don't want to get caught slipping. So I will stay fucking strapped, and I will sleep with my strap, and that's just going to be part of my shit until I feel the situation is normalized. Right now, we're in a state of flux. The churn is in full force. So, as somebody who is responsible for my fucking family, responsible for my home and everything else, I will do this. And I will keep gear in different parts of the house. That way, if I'm taking a shit or I'm doing something else, I'm not gonna get caught slipping. You know what I'm saying? If somebody somebody decides, fuck it, we're gonna take this angry jackalope and re-educate him, better come ready. Because it gets to that point, if it gets to the point where, you guys are coming and this, that, and everything else. What's up? Okay, be safe. They come here and they like, we're gonna do this, that, and everything else. I'm like, okay, I guess we're going to score now. Let's see how many I can take before y'all take me. And I don't want to be that way. I'd rather us be all peaceful. Everybody lives in harmony. Everybody's, paper chasing and just focusing on their friends and family and love and happiness and joy and everything else. So, but you got to be careful with these guys with some of the shit they're saying. Some of the stuff that they're talking about is concerning. Yep, there you go, Jay. That's what I'm talking about. Always be ready. Keep your head on the swivel. Because at the end of the day, you got a lot of motherfuckers that are pretty defenseless. And you get some mob mentality of motherfuckers, regardless of whatever side we're talking about here. You get mob mentality, and wrong is wrong and right is right. It's our responsibility, if we are in a position to do so, to protect those who are weak, to protect those that are not able to adequately defend themselves. I'm not saying go out and be a fucking superhero, but sometimes we find ourselves in positions where we can actually affect change and we can actually do some good. And sometimes the best way to do good is when you're fucking armed. Because people are very polite when they see you're fucking strapped. They're like, oh shit, this motherfucker has some heaters and he is about to lay some shit down. As opposed to harsh language. Used to be, walk soft and carry a big stick. It's not going to do so much anymore. Walk soft and carry some bullets that will fucking, light a motherfucker up. I don't condone violence. I don't think that's something that we should go and seek out. But at the same time, I've said before, and I'll say it again, I do believe there are situations when there is such a thing as good violence. And good violence is violence that is used to stop evil from winning. You know, I'm really sick and tired of, oh yeah, this woman got gang raped in front of fucking, you know, 10 bystanders who all kind of gawked around and was like, oh, okay, well, what's what? You know what I'm saying? So come on, man. Nobody's calling the police or anything else. Hey, stop it. Beep, 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 beep. There you go. Come here. I've been looking at those PCP air guns. They're nice, and ammo is still cheap for them. 177 caliber, 22, 25, 30, and 50 cal. Nice. That's cool. Yeah, I've seen some of those air guns. They're pretty stealthy and pretty nice. Look at you getting all grumpy. But yeah, so we don't have long, guys. We got 6 days. So if the Q folks are doing what they're saying they're doing, we won't know anything until shit starts to happen. And it's funny because today I was sitting there and the emergency alert system went off, but it was an Amber Alert, and you could see the area I was at. There was a lot of people, and people were just holding up their phones, and I could just see on people's faces they were like, oh, "What is it?" And I could see the people that were like Q folks, and the people that had no clue that were just irritated, like, "Oh, what's on my fucking phone now?" You see some people going like this. Oh, fuck. Some people are like, fuck. They were hoping to get that hour-long emergency response system where the president comes on and notifies all of the evil shit that people have been doing and blah, blah, blah. And if that were to happen, I'd be like, wow, I'm surprised. I didn't think it was going to happen. But in any event, it's going to come down to a choice. If push comes to shove, you're going to have to make a decision when they start to roll out stuff. If they start to, realistically, if they start doing stuff like re-education camps, and they start saying stuff like, you have people in your house that are sick, and we're going to take them and put them inside of other facilities so that they can get adequate medical attention because of the Rona. You have to make a decision. Like here in Utah, the relocation spot for if somebody is sick and they take them away, in the early days, they were talking that was going to be in LA. I will be damned if I let them take me or my children or my wife out of the state and put them in California. Ain't gonna fucking happen. Ain't gonna fucking happen. They come in the house and say, well, we've got reports that there's Corona up in this house. I'll be like, I really don't give a shit. We got some Corona beer, but we ain't got no fucking Rona. So you need to get the fuck out of here. Now you fuck what your piece of paper says. But again, it's going to come down to personal decisions, choices, and also your belief system. What do you believe in? I have a really good friend of mine. We were talking earlier. Like my wife got the vaccine. She makes her own decisions. She's an adult. She's in the healthcare profession. She works in the ER and she works in some other medical facilities. And sometimes she comes in contact with the most vulnerable in society. So she made a decision on her own to go ahead and get the vaccine. And she suffered the consequence because she had migraines for about a week. And then she also had a bunch of flu-like symptoms without the fever and everything. So she had like 2 or 3 days where she just felt like dog shit. That was only the first shot. She still has to do the second shot. And I have said before, and I will say it again, I will be fucking damned if I let them put shit in me. It ain't gonna happen. I'm not letting them stick anything in me. I never take flu shots. I'll go in and they try to guilt me. Oh, you had your flu shot for the year? Nope. You want one? Nope. Oh, you're one of them. Yes, I am. I do not trust the pharmaceutical companies at all. But I was talking to a good buddy of mine, and down there in Louisiana, him and his family, like they actually have an order. Like he's number 620 or something. And I said, well, look, partner. They tell me, Rob, we got a shot for you. I said, shit, send that shit down to Louisiana and give it to my buddy because I don't want it. I don't want it. And again, this is our choice, right? And I don't do it because I think there's something nefarious going on with these vaccines. I just don't trust the vaccine companies. I just don't trust Pfizer. I don't trust any of these fucking companies. Period. I don't trust them. Let's see. They say the vax is only good for 12 months. Yeah, well, fuck that. You know, I won't know because I'm not using it. I'm not doing it. Period. End of discussion. Well, Rob, you won't be able to travel. Well, fuck, Robbie Rob ain't traveling. Well, you might not be able to work. Well, I'm pretty sure the people that I work with really won't give a shit, and I still will have some work. You know what I'm saying? Um, Air Force Texas Airport is expensive. Much of I spend on the Wilson combat handgun. Yeah, yeah. Some of those gears, some of the gear that some people have when they get all their accessories and shit on there, boy, they can get fucking expensive. You know what I'm saying? Um, but again, you know, again, everything here comes down to a fucking choice. You have to decide, you know, what is best in your situation for you and yours. For me, like I told my kids straight up, if you guys want to take the shot, go ahead. You know, because I don't tell them what to do and what not to do. You know, uh, especially the ones that are over 18. They're adults now, so they're gonna have to fucking make their fucking decisions. And I don't preach to them. I don't tell them what to think, how to think, or anything else. You know, and because that time as an adult with them is past. I don't do that. What's up, Civilcom Reviews in the house? What's up, brother? Um, so yeah, I'm not taking a shit. Period. I'm not taking that shot. I don't give a fuck. You know. And my wife's a little upset with me because they're talking about, well, you can't travel and you can't do. I go, fuck. The illegals travel. I'll just find some illegal way to travel from spot to spot. You know what I mean? If I really have a wild hair at my ass to travel somewhere. Other than that, fuck that shit. Kinet in the house. So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I got doc's happy with my foot and ankle, my heel. I still got a big nasty wound there though. It's gnarly. It's gross, but it's healing now. It just feels kind of like if you ever scabbed your elbow up and then you bend it and then you feel it crack. That sharp pain when it cracks. That's what it feels like all the time. And then if you touch it, then it lights me up, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? And so when they were taking the stereo strips off, boy, that was not fun because you know, old girl, you know, she's pressing down and pulling, and I'm like, oh my god, are you fucking serious? So it sucked a little bit, but I'm all right. I'm back home now. I feel good. I said, fuck it. I'm sitting down for the first time, and I was like, well, before I even start thinking about work or anything else, I'll drop a fucking video here. I made a decision also. Actually, a couple of decisions. The very first decision I made is I'm gonna start doing a lot of little off reviews like I did on the Tops knife, and then so the M4X Punisher. So like I could do something like talk about the special edition, blah blah blahs. And I could do the full little breakdown. I could snap a bunch of photos before to show it off, and I could talk about ergonomics and all the other fun shit and my thoughts on it, blah blah blah. So I can do a bunch of those types of videos and do them live. And I was telling my kids because I was sitting there, we were kind of crunching the numbers and doing the math. If I sit down and I do a polished video, right, where I do, get the camera ready, get the mic ready, get all the lighting and everything else, sit there and then blah, 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 shoot a 20-minute video. Done with the 20-minute video, I come inside, I put it on a computer, transfer to the computer, edit it on a computer, yada, yada, yada. Get done with that an hour later, then go and spend the time uploading. That could take anywhere from fucking 20 to 30 fucking minutes. So I'm already vested into a 20-minute video, like fucking 2 hours and 20 minutes. As opposed to pop this bitch up, start running. Here's what we're going to talk about today. Here's the pros and cons. This is what I think. This is the price point. This is the value. This is what I think about it. What do you guys think? Hit some questions to me real quick. Give you some fucking answers. Call it a day. So I figure I'm going to do those because those are really easy and it creates some content that people might be interested in, and then go from there. If I get some hard use type stuff, like I might spend one weekend, grab all the gear that I'm gonna do stuff with, go and chop those all up, come in here, cut those into little snippets, add them into the live show. You know, here's how it is when I chop some fucking wood. Here's how it is when I chop fucking paper. Here's how it is when I did this. And now here I am cutting fucking paper at the end. Okay, there you go. I got some basic hard use tests, and it gives me some stuff to think about and say, you know, do I recommend it? It will also give me a chance to hard use some of these blades that I have not done it yet. I realized after one of the last shows, there are some blades I have not hard use test yet, and they're actually part of my regular grab stuff, and I got to make sure that there's not a bad heat treat on them. So that's the thinking there. I also have energy drinks, entertainment type things, different things that I can just really quickly, you know, point out, spotlight, let you guys know about, and then you guys can say, "Oh shit, I was unaware of that product, or was unaware of upcoming sale or whatever." Like I got access to Shot Show shit yesterday, and they gave me access to all of the press area, and so you know there's some really interesting flashlights from Nitecore, or not Nitecore, what are they called? Yeah, Nitecore, right? Nitecore, I think. And so I grabbed some of that stuff and pulled it down. I'm like, all right, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. We could talk about some of that shit. Now the other announcement I wanted to make is regarding video game stuff. So on the Robert R. Rick side, I was doing every once in a while. I would do like, you know, here's video game shit, and I would stream it, and it was on YouTube. Well, I got a buddy of mine. He was like, "Dude, why don't you do some shit on Twitch, because that way people will stumble onto you a little easier and blah blah blah." And I'm like, "All right." So I started putting together a Twitch thing a couple of days ago. Did some testing on it. It's twitch.tv no twitch.tv/ Robert Rick / I think that's the URL on it. And you know, there was a game that I was testing out, and it looked good. It looked really well. And I'm like, you know, it's not like I'm doing it to make money or anything else. It's really just more content for me to kind of unwind and do shit with, and you know, play some games on a regular basis. And I think I'm gonna pick one day out of the week to do an hour or two stream over on Twitch. And while I'm playing, I might be talking some shit. And my son warned me. He goes, "You gotta be careful, Dad, because Twitch is, you know, is definitely left leaning, and you know, if you're gonna have foul language and everything else, you have to flag your shit as mature and blah 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 blah." And I'm like, all right, fuck it, you know. And that's that. So you know, I think that's the other thing I'm gonna do now. What is the status of the real time story time? Well, the sad thing is on the real time story time is there's just not a lot of people that are interested in it. I have 4 or 5 people, maybe upwards of 10 total, that are even remotely interested in that side of things. You know, it's like, oh yeah, you know, you get some fucking keywords and you tell a fucking story, yay! And it doesn't seem like a lot of people are very interested in that. So that is probably going to get pushed to maybe once a month. You know, it might be like the 15th of every month or some bullshit like that, or whatever the middle of the month is on that Sunday. That might end up being, you know, a once a month type of thing. And maybe it's, instead of it being an hour, it might be like 2 hours or an hour and a half or something. I don't know. But it's just, there's just not a lot of people interested in it. And even though I put out a fucking shit ton of content and really racked my brains to come up with stories based off of some really bizarre, crazy keywords, there's not a lot of people that's interested, and it's not growing at all. There is no growth. I've been sitting at 186 subs there for ever in a day. So even when, it's funny because my wife, sometimes I'll look on her thing and I see some old real time story times pop up in her feed, and she's not even subscribed to me. And so I know it actually goes out. People come across it by accident. It's just people don't give a shit about stories unless it's creepypasta or some other shit that's already got some kind of mind share. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna cut that. I think it's only gonna be once a month. for the time being. I'm not going to get rid of it because I spent so much time on the intros and everything else and getting all the sound effects and all the other shit ready on there. Speaking of sound effects, here on the Angry Jackalope Show, I'm going to start bringing the guys back. So there's going to be, I'm going to be using my Stream Deck to bring in, Steve and the gang to help me comment on certain things. So the Angry Jackalope Show is going to start to get a little bit more polished, a little bit more bells and whistles to it. And so that's coming. So if you guys really enjoyed Steve, Damien, and Randy before on the other shows, you're going to really like the integration that they start to come in on the live show. Because with the Stream Deck, I can pre-queue up a bunch of different responses, a bunch of different things. So like I could have a whole soundboard and images of Steve responding in a myriad of ways. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's see. Connect. Winding down for the day with Little Bailey's Nightcap. Stream definitely helping me enter the chill mode. Great. I'm glad to hear that. And that's the other thing too. The Angry Jackalope Show, as long as they don't remove me, and there is a pretty good chance because some of the shit I say can get me in hot water. I know some of my peers, they will use code words for shit, and I just don't have the energy to sit there and come up with all these different code words anymore for different things. So if I want to talk about Joe Biden, I'm going to say Joe Biden. If I want to talk about Donald Trump, I'll talk about Donald Trump. If I want to talk about the Rona, COVID-19, or if I want to talk about Harris, or I want to talk about conspiracies, Republicans, Democrats, blah blah blah, I'll talk about it. If I want to talk about guns, I want to talk about shit like Sandy Hook. All of these are code words that typically get you in trouble, right? And I'm like, I really don't give a shit. I'm not gonna play games. I'm not gonna sit there and because I make no money on this shit. I'm not really worried about it. And I do this show primarily for you guys, and I try more than anything else to do this show to kind of get everybody's head right. Set your expectations, help you guys kind of defuse and have an alternate point of view as opposed to the constant, never-ending fear-mongering that we see on the mainstream media and even alternative media. And I try to be that voice of reason, where it's like, look, guys, is this a shitty situation that we are kind of sliding into? Sure. Should we be freaked out about it? Not at all. Why? Because we've been planning for this shit forever. You know what I mean? All of us who are reliant, and I'm not talking about reliant members, I'm talking about reliant as far as being self-reliant, being, dependable for people to depend upon you. And a lot of us play that role, right? Part of that is us looking at the different situations and saying, okay, if that happens, what do we do? If that happens, what do we do? So really by now, preaching to the choir here, you really should have your food preps, your water preps, your medicine. You should have ammo. You should have all your gear. You should have everything ready that you could possibly have if you can afford it. And be ready. And if nothing else, mentally just be prepared to be positive when a lot of other people running around you are going to be freaking the fuck out. That's why earlier when that Amber Alert went off, I had a grin on my face when I pulled my phone out because I was like, what's it gonna be? Oh, damn, some kid got abducted. That sucks. And I looked around and I was chuckling as I saw all these other people going, like, freaking the fuck out. And I'm like, chill out, people. Chill the fuck out. Seriously, just chill. Just relax. It's not worth you mentally blowing a gasket, going, because here's the thing. For me, anyway, I take it down the worst line you could possibly think of. And then it goes, okay, well, what's the worst thing that could happen? Well, for me, the worst thing is not death. Death? That's okay, whatever. Death is death. and I'm not afraid of it. Now, captured, tortured, family tortured, brainwashed, blah, blah, blah. Now, all of that shit, I don't like that shit. So they decide to try to bum rush the Casa de Ricks and, gun me down. Oh, well, that's not the absolute worst. Because there are horrible, horrible things that man is capable of inflicting on other men, women, and children. And I will do everything in my power to prevent that from happening to my family. So, I think another worst thing that could happen is people know shit's going down and they decide to look away or to be complacent and go along with it because of fucking chicken shit. To me, that's far worse than anything else. To turn a blind eye and be like, well, that's just my neighbor, fuck them, that's just not cool. That's just not cool, and we're all in this shit together, and we all should be helping each other, really, because if we allow something to happen to somebody next door, and we don't come together and stop that, well, then who's going to come together and stop it when it comes on your door? You know what I'm saying? So you wanna build as many alliances and as many friendships and as many groups as you can, so that when something bad happens, and this is good just in normal everyday society, like especially if your area is prone to bad weather or whatever, to have alliances and allies, people that will look after your fucking property, people that will be there, when you need help. I've been blessed because my neighbor has been really helpful. When I first got hurt, he was helping me out with my lawn and the water and all the other shit that I needed to take care of that I just couldn't. He stepped up like a fucking champ. And I thought to myself, yep, that guy is part of the team. Anything happened, I'm looking after him as well. Just like Roxy and they were on the other side. There were some people that were giving them fucking heat. I fucking stood on my backyard and I had my gun out and I was sitting there ready. If a big mob came and started to fuck with them, I was ready to jump in and help out. So, it's one of those things where as time goes by, everything comes down to your choices, to your moral compass. How much can you take? What's right and wrong? Again, I'm not saying everybody should go out and be a fucking superhero. And definitely nobody should go out looking for a fucking fight. But if one comes looking, you shouldn't be afraid to defend yourself. You shouldn't be afraid to defend your family. And if they start coming door to door talking that shit about re-education or give us your guns or whatever else, that's the time where, tires hit the road. You have to make a decision. Are you going to fucking nut up, be the man that you've been, or woman that you've been claiming for a long time, or are you going to bitch out and be a pussy and say, here, take my guns, here, take this, don't hurt me or whatever. So I understand people are averse to pain and people are averse to the whole concept of death because they're afraid of the unknown and everything else. But I'm telling you, the only thing worse than all of that shit would be regret. You don't want to be one of these people that had a chance to stand up and not get raped, not have your rights stolen from you and abused, and then look back and say, wow, we are all fucking slaves, and there was some small part I could have played to stop this and I didn't. So I don't know, I don't claim to know what's coming, but I think we all need to be realistic and look and say, okay, because we see the mainstream media talking this shit. We see tech giants that have absolute control over what they allow people to see and what they don't allow people to see, and even at the detriment of them losing millions upon millions of dollars in ad revenue, but they don't really care. So you see that stuff, and it's gotta you have to acknowledge it and go, wow, that's spooky, that's scary, that's like, wow, I can't believe that level of censorship. And we've seen, history has shown us time and time again, when you have that level of censorship, and you also have a, the disarmament of a society, usually what follows after is really grisly. It's a pretty scary situation. And so it's your responsibility to look after your family and to protect yourself, right? So to all of the folks out there that are claiming to be patriots, remember now, guns and shit like that, that's in our blood. That's in the American blood. You know, this country was founded in violence, and unfortunately, it's gonna have to happen again. It really looks like they're trying their absolute fucking best to create some kind of a civil war. And my part, you know, civil war is to sit it out and try not to get involved until you can't avoid it. So for all the folks that are thinking about being in major cities, going down to the hey, what's up, Wicked? Going down to state capitals and this, that, and everything else, don't do it. Keep your happy ass at home. You know, plan for peace. Try to live a peaceful life, but prepare for war. You know, and that's not something that anybody should take lightly, because if things get bloody, it's not something to have look forward to or think it's going to be fun. It's not a good thing. But at the same time, don't be a pussy and let motherfuckers run all over you. You know, I learned a long time ago, when you have a bully that's fucking with you, the best thing to do with a bully is just take it head on. Try to fuck him up. And I took quite a few ass whoopings from bullies, but guess what? Not once did the bullies come back. Not fucking once. So it's the same thing here. You know, if you get a government comes and acts like a bully, stand up to it best you can. And if enough people are doing it, then it becomes a very, very, very big problem for the bullies. You know? And it's something that, you know, again, I say it over and over. This is something you're going to decide for yourself. I've had discussions with my family. What's up, Yak? I've had discussions with my family. I've already told them if some shit happens, you know, and they get to the point where they're like, come out. I told my kids, listen, I'm not mad at you. I won't. Your decision is your decision. If you don't want to fight, go out the fucking front door and do whatever. But once you pass that threshold, I'm not coming out to save you. You know what I mean? I told my wife the same thing. Motherfuckers come in, it's go time. So if you don't want to be party to that, then when the kids leave, you go with them. Because you know, I'm not taking a knee, and I'm not being a slave to anybody. So if they come and they say, well, Mr. Riggs, we're taking your gun, I'm like, you're welcome to try. You really are. I have some family members that want to leave before we start, if that's acceptable to you. And they're like, yeah, like, there you go. And then we'll go from there. And then, of course, I'm sure they'll take some footage of it or whatever else and say this was a fucking crazy person and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, fuck, whatever. What they do after I'm dead, I really have no say. And I really don't give a shit, to be honest with you. But I'll be damned if I drop to a knee and I fucking bow, you know, I bow to nobody but my heavenly Father. That's it. So that's it. If these motherfuckers want to come and get me, they're gonna come and get me. And I'm like, whatever. And but I've had those conversations with my family. So I think that's the only fair thing that we could do with our families, because not everybody is necessarily going to agree with our positioning. I already know one of my daughters is, you know, polar opposite of my viewpoints. And I love her no matter what. And so I want her to be safe. And, you know, this is her decision. So if she wants to leave before violence begins, I only hope they'll give us that opportunity. But I also told her, once you leave and if they try to leverage you, understand I will not be swayed. You've made your decision, I will make my decision. And we've discussed that as adults. You know what I mean? She's dismayed by it. She doesn't like the whole concept. But again, it's a prep, right? You're mentally preparing somebody for what could happen. I agree. I agree, Rambo. I definitely suspect there's a false flag coming. And my wife is really upset about that core concept because she's like, the good guys aren't going to be there. I said, but look, what's it going to take? You could have some bad guys that are just wearing some fucking MAGA hats running around, and they're going to say, look, it's these guys. These guys have all the power. They have the Mockingbird media. They have all of the technology. And whatever they say. Like, here's the funny thing. I know some previously staunch supporters of Trump. And then when this shit happened on the 6th, because they were watching the news constantly, they flipped. And they were like, oh yeah, he's fucking crazy and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. I said, did you watch his speech? And like, yeah. I said, it was a pretty passionate speech, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, did he tell people to go do that? Well, it was kind of reading between the lines. I'm like, okay, that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit because somebody could take this video right here and they could say, well, Rob was inciting violence. He was sitting on a video with guns and everything, and he was talking this, that, and everything else. And, people can misconstrue what he says, but they could read between the lines and say, well, Rob was telling people to fight and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, you could say that, but I've also said several times, I don't condone violence. I don't want people to go out looking for it, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because they can take the shit and say whatever the fuck they want. They can go back to my videos. They can go back to the 1,000+ videos that I've made. And they can take sound bites out of any of that and make me sound like a fucking, stark raving mad fucking lunatic. And a few of you guys that are here would be like, that's not Rob. That's not what Rob stood for. That's not, Rob was a caring, loving person that was always looking out for the little guy and always trying his best to speak the truth as he saw it. And if he made a mistake, he'd be the first to admit it. But it's irrelevant because they can take the sound bites. They can take things and take a little snippet of it, put it on the news, and everybody would pass judgment and say, wow, that guy over in Utah, well, he's a psycho. He's a fucking nut job, and they would believe it. That's why I said I will never take a leadership position because the minute I do, they will character assassinate me in 5 fucking seconds, or they would just straight out kill me, or whatever, And so it's like everybody has to decide for themselves what is their threshold, what is it that they are willing to do or not do, and then when the time comes, make that stand. And hopefully, when that time comes, enough of us stand up that it makes it difficult for the bully to do what the bully wants. And the bully says, all right, let's back off before we have a France situation. So, anyway, I wanted to get in here, give you guys a quick update, tell you guys what's what. Wish everybody the best of luck. We will be doing a show Saturday. I might do a show tomorrow. I don't fucking know. But I know for sure Saturday there will be a show. There will be another Angry Jackalope show. Because I definitely think this weekend has the potential of being something interesting. Because my last video, remember I said, yeah, Trump hasn't said anything, but I bet you right after I do this video, we're going to hear something from Trump. And then he came out with that Alamo video, right? And I'm like, oh, the Alamo. Oh, there we go. There's context. There's some stuff hidden in there, right? The Alamo. But it's going to be interesting. It is going to be fucking interesting to see what happens. And I definitely think there is a very high, like if I had to put a percentage on it, I'm looking at 85% possibility of false flag happening. You see Texas talking about secession and everything else. I've been saying for a long time, there's a couple of nukes off the coast of Texas. I would not be surprised if those nukes go off. They're blamed on China or they're blamed on Iran or something else. And that could be something that could bring people together for this administration and blah, blah, blah. But I definitely think that there is going to be something that happens some form of false flag, whether it be a shooting, a bombing, assassination attempt, something of that nature. I have about an 85% gut feeling that something's going to happen probably this weekend or sometime leading up to the 20th. So we have 6 days. I mean, it's going to be interesting these next 6 days to see what happens. Now, I hope and pray nothing does happen, but it just seems like this would be the ideal window for something bad to happen. That's it, you know. And I think that would give the Biden administration the boost it needs, because if people remember 9/11, you know, Bush, everybody was laughing at Bush. They were clowning on him and everything else. And after 9/11, boy, people rallied behind him. Britney Spears, we need to be with our president. You know, if you're not with us, you're against us. You know, blah blah blah. So, you know, this cabal that we find ourselves against, they love to do this kind of shit. They love to do it. So, I would not be surprised in the least. And if something does happen, and I suspect it's fucking false flag, I will jump on here and I will fucking say it. Channel be damned. And, you know, if you guys see me pop up and I'm like, hey, this is some bullshit, this is why I think it's a false flag, this is the evidence that I think, blah, blah, blah. Because I remember I did a video, you might have to go back and look a long time ago, but I made a video that shows all of the telltale signs of a false flag, right? And it systematically, there's a playbook that they fucking follow every single time they do one of these goddamn false flags. And that even includes the 6th. There was tons of stuff there. Nashville, tons of stuff there. So, you know, keep an eye out, because my spider sense or my spook meter is fucking going through the fucking ceiling. I definitely think some bullshit's gonna pop off probably this weekend. I think this weekend would probably be good. So anyway, yeah, 20,000 troops is drastic. No shit. What's up? For who? Yeah, give me a second. I'm almost done. All right, so that's it. Family's back from going groceries and whatnot. I'm gonna go spend some time with them. I invite you guys to do the same. Spend time with your loved ones, your families. Love everybody. Give your hugs. You know, if you're religious, make sure you do extra praying and everything, because this is a time where, you know, Heavenly Father's intervention to make things peaceful and good is definitely fucking needed, because woo, we are sitting on a powder keg. We're sitting on a powder keg, but we know, got to be positive and keep your head on a swivel and all that other fun shit. All right, guys? All right, that's it for now. If you like it, please subscribe, tell your friends far and wide. Until next time, motherfuckers, please be good to yourself, good to each other. Go out, live a life to the fullest, ride the bus to the wheels fall off, have some adventures, get some scars and all that jazz. And I will see you motherfuckers next time.